Welcome to day 374 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in CloutFeed.
You're trying to shortchange us by 30 days. That's an entire month of videos, Ed. Come on.
Yeah, sure. So yesterday, another big DeSo TikTok post was made. We talked about the one by the Jolly Green investor a few days ago and also a couple weeks ago. This time it was the Nifty investor who made a post talking about decentralized social media and how Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey are both calling for it on Twitter. And it was a good video talking about DeSo, talking about who backs it, Coinbase Ventures, the Winklevoss twins, and several others. They also talked about the decentralization. They said how it's decentralized, 100% decentralized. I think people would kind of argue, is it really 100% decentralized? I don't think it is quite yet. But it was a great ad. I think that's what it was. I think it was an ad. Perhaps it was he just decided to make the video, but it was kind of similar to the Jolly Green investor. So I'm guessing it was a paid post, but nonetheless, it was good. It's kind of sparked a jump in the price of DeSo again. And I think it jumped up to like $55 or so at one point.
Yeah, and I think they're just trying to take advantage of the talk that's happening online. I think that Elon and Jack and everything that's happening in that space, I think it's a perfect time to let people know that there is something out there that kind of falls into the category that these guys are talking about, and that's DeSo. And what better time than now to start discovering it, start pushing it out there and allowing people to discover DeSo. It's timing. Timing is everything, and I think they see an opportunity. So why not start pushing DeSo out further to the masses and seeing how they respond, how the general populace responds. So I love that they're doing this. I'm guessing it's a paid ad as well, paid ads, paid promotion as well, which is smart. I'm all for that.
Yeah. And, anything that helps, right?
Yeah,
Twitter.
and don't like I'm not excited because the price of DeSo is going up. I'm excited because word's getting out there about DeSo. Most of these pumps are going to fade back down. They might level off slightly above where it was before, but most of the pumps aren't going to just stay up there. Yeah, we saw $99 last week. So obviously these pumps aren't long lasting, but I think it's gradual stair stepping. You're going to go up a little, down a little bit less, up a little, down a little bit less. And as people start discovering DeSo, I think we'll see that more and more.
Yeah, and it sets new highs and new lows. Not new highs, but I mean, I guess that was a dumb sentence, but I just said. But I mean, it sets resistance levels sometimes, or it sets support levels in some cases. And when you get those support levels set, it makes it more difficult for the price to fall below that price. So I think it's good. Most
Higher highs, higher highs, and higher lows. I think that's what you probably meant to
Yeah.
say.
Well, I don't know if they're high. They're not really higher highs because we've had a high of like 200, but we're
Right.
getting higher lows, which I think is a good thing. But ultimately, I think the best news that comes out of these things is the fact that you do notice more users signing up. And when more users sign up, you tend to get more daily active users. So I think that's the most important factor, along with kind of enticing developers to start building on top of DeSo.
Yeah, and I know there are a couple developers that are entering the DeSo space right now, thinking about integrating, thinking about building something on top. So even though things are a little bit quiet from the developer front, there is a lot going on behind the scenes. Of course, we want more, but it isn't totally quiet.
Yeah, and yesterday there was a Twitter Spaces event that took place with Natter.
Yeah, so there's this Twitter Spaces called Social Apps, and it was a kind of like a roundtable discussion. I went there. There's approximately like 120 to 150 people there on and off throughout the whole discussion, and the discussion lasted over an hour. Natter was there. Natter talked quite extensively. He might have talked more than anybody else, and he talked a lot about DeSo, about what happened with BitClout. Like, he talked a lot about why they did what they did with BitClout and how it kind of evolved into DeSo and what his vision is with DeSo as well as Web3. And we had the co-founder of Rally, M. Valank, and then we also had representatives from Superlayer. There were a lot of big names that that had interesting discussion, and it was the roundtable framework of it was definitely interesting to listen to. There wasn't anything big revealed from that, or it was most things that we all already know. But to outside listeners that haven't heard from DeSo, it was a great promo piece, and I'm sure there are some people that joined just because of that. So if you gave it a listen, I think that you probably didn't learn a whole lot from the DeSo front, but it was definitely a really interesting discussion between different apps and different chains regarding Web3 and social and all of that.
Yeah, it was a great meeting. I got to catch part of it. Natter did an awesome job. So in other news, a DeSo conference at DeSo_conference on DeSo is setting up a big DeSo Europe meetup. Of course, we just had the big LA meetup, the big DeSo anniversary that took place, and really nobody made it over from Europe other than M. Van Halen and NFT Van Halen, of course, Boss and Mark Tyne from NFTZ. I don't think anybody else traveled from Europe to go to the event, but there is a European meetup taking place. They're just getting started in the planning phases. Izzy and Alendez are behind it. They're the ones kind of taking charge with the event planning. They have a Telegram. Over 100 people have already signed up to that Telegram. Again, you can find that if you go to DeSo_conference. There's a link to the Telegram. So many other great people are working with Izzy and Alendez to set this event up, including MTK Matt, Stargeezer, Millionaire Dad, Kanshi, Ado from DeSocialWorld, Lisa Mariette, Finn Hartman, Sabira, Cryptographer, and many others. Definitely, if you're in Europe, it's something to attend. I know the Design Style sisters from Story are in the Telegram, so there's a good chance that they might be attending the event. Of course, Brian and I would love to attend, but it's going to be difficult. I think they're planning on doing it sometime in October. So definitely check it out. If you think you can attend, join that Telegram, contribute to the discussion, and I'm sure you can have a really awesome event like we did in LA.
Yeah, there's so many people in Europe, and I think a lot of times they kind of feel like they get left out because the center of everything's in America, because you had the VCs that invested. Most of them are from the United States. Many of them are from the LA area. But you got to remember, Europe is actually more populated than the United States. So they are just as important, if not more, than the people in the United States for growing DeSo and for developing on DeSo. And many great developers are from Europe. I mean, you've got Rabal from CloutFeed, of course. You've got DeSocialWorld and Ado. So I think that we can't forget the Europeans, and I hope they don't feel that way. I hope they don't feel like we're forgetting them. Hopefully we can make it in October. That would be great, depending on where it is. Of course, it's tough having families and kids and everything, but we'll see what happens.
What's the closest place to America and Europe? Iceland?
I think it'll be Iceland, yeah.
So Mousai has a giveaway going on, Brian. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we mentioned Miss Mousai the other day. They're doing great things. It's kind of like a Spotify for DeSo, but they decided they're going to do this giveaway. And the way it works is all you got to do is log into Mousai. It's mousai.stream. Log in with your DeSo account. Start exploring some of the videos, the music videos, our videos are on there too. So it's not all music, podcasts, stuff like that. Start exploring and then start giving pink diamonds. And when you give pink diamonds, you're actually entering to win possible DeSo. So the way it's going to work is that Mousai will be rewarding DeSo to 3 different winners. The first winner will be receiving 0.5 DeSo. And this will actually be to the person that gives the most number of diamonds to the community via Mousai, the Mousai app. 1 DeSo will also be given to the person that gives the most value in diamonds to others within the app. And one DeSo will also be given to the artist, producer, podcaster, whatever, who has the videos, who got the most dollar value of diamonds. So it's really a cool little giveaway that's going to present a lot of engagement. And I'm sorry, the last one, it's not dollar value, it's total number of diamonds. I screwed that up. But I love that they're doing this because it's going to present engagement. It's going to get people to use the Mousai app. And it's going to reward creators as well as people that are helping creators. So I love that. Great job. Check out Mousai if you haven't already.
Yeah, Mousai, I love the app. We got to meet the founder and his wife in LA, and they're just great people. And I love what they're doing. So definitely check it out. Speaking of giveaways, DeSocialWorld, they have suddenly become the most used DeSo app. And that's, of course, going by the statistics. If you check out Open Prosper, you'll see in the last 24 hours, they represent 24.79% of all posts on DeSo. They're very close, though, with the second place Diamond, which had 24.35%, and CloutFeed, which had 24.12%. So they're all like neck and neck right now. But I think their giveaway that they set up, where they're basically teaming with SEALs to give away money to the top 8 posters every week, has kind of encouraged people to come over and start making posts on their app, on their node. And SEALs it's amazing what SEALs is doing. They're basically sponsoring this competition, giving away the money to these individuals. And in turn, they're getting free advertising. So not free advertising, they're getting paid advertising. So it's a great initiative. It's a great way to, benefit all involved.
I think
DeSocialWorld gets a benefit of getting all these people coming over and posting on their node. SEALs gets a benefit of name recognition and appreciation. And then all the posters who make the top 8 list get the benefit of earning additional money just simply for posting.
Yeah, and I think a year and a month into DeSo, I think this is kind of a defining moment. And we have an app or a node that is not part of the core team, didn't even receive Octane funding, and they are actually the most posted on node on the entire blockchain. So I think that says a lot for Ado and DeSocialWorld, number one, but it says a lot about the ecosystem and how the ecosystem's evolving. You have the potential for any one node to really like jump to the front like that if they work their butts off and if they provide value to the community. So don't give in and say, oh, I didn't get Octane funding, or oh, Diamond app is kind of part of the core's initiative, because Ado did it. And I think it goes to show that if you work hard, you put in the time, you can also have a node that gets quite popular quite fast. And it didn't take very long for Ado to get to that position.
Yeah, I don't think Ado sleeps. I think he's just constantly working. But Nader actually mentioned this yesterday, that DeSocialWorld has basically taken over the #1 spot. And congrats, Ado, you're doing an awesome job. And I think it just shows, like you said, it shows you don't actually need Octane funding to build something. I think they probably deserve some Octane funding, because you see all of these other Octane, not all of these other, but many of the Octane funded developers who kind of have gone quiet and kind of stopped developing. So, they didn't get funding and they're still working their butts off. And I say they because it's not just Ado. He has some others who are helping him out. And I just can't remember the other. I always forget the other guy's name, so I'm going to look it up right now. So it's Ado, it's Erwin Williams, Tuan V, and Jero Nalders. So they all deserve some credit.
Yeah, let's do a celebration. Congrats.
Yeah, so yesterday, Elon Musk made a huge move when it comes to Twitter. Of course, he was tweeting a lot about Twitter.
Well, it wasn't yesterday, obviously, because the stock market's not open yesterday, but it was revealed via filings that Elon Musk has recently taken a 9% stake in Twitter. So Elon now owns 9% of Twitter, which is a sizable chunk for a publicly owned social media platform that has a market cap of $30 to $40 billion. Elon invested close to $3 billion. His net worth is $300 billion. So it's just a drop in the bucket. It's 1% of his net worth, but he could actually buy all of Twitter at today's market cap for just over 10% of his net worth, which is kind of interesting.
So answer this: how would a takeover take place? Would he need to buy 100% of? He wouldn't need to buy 100% share. If he bought 51%, he could do a takeover, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he bought 51% of the outstanding shares, he would basically have the majority of the voting rights. There's different ways that this
Could
could
he
happen.
put himself in as CEO? Would that be something that's possible?
Well, I mean, CEOs are usually appointed by the boards of directors, but I would guess that he could vote for new boards of directors who would favor him. Additionally, you don't necessarily need to own 51% to take it over, as long as you have others that are kind of on your side. But some analysts think that this is just a start and that he's jumping in with a 9% stake, but it's not going to be the end. And he's likely going to be maybe trying to influence Twitter's actions, or perhaps buy them out and take a sizably larger stake in the company. I guess we'll see. And we all know that he's really against censorship. Obviously, he's pro crypto. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. It's kind of funny that this happens like right after he made a tweet literally like days ago saying that he's considering creating his own social media platform. Did he make that tweet as he was buying Twitter stock? And did he do it because he wanted the stock to drop? I don't know, but it all brings up interesting questions. But having Elon in this space is definitely an interesting one, especially given that we're all pushing for decentralized social on DeSo blockchain. What he does could impact DeSo in both positive and negative ways, I assume.
Here's an idea. Elon, you can buy Twitter, take over Twitter, and integrate it with the DeSo blockchain.
There you go.
Then it all becomes decentralized, and all those posts are in the blockchain.
Yeah, let's see it happen.
So yesterday, CloutGate announced that they're shutting down. And CloutGate was a really interesting website that allowed you to discover people. You could sort it by, most diamonds in the last 24 hours, most diamonds in the last, or most likes in the last 24 hours, most likes in the last 7 days. It was useful for some people. I don't think too many people were using it. I actually did use it quite often just to find some of the newcomers on DeSo. They put out a post in their announcement on the website, says, quote unquote, CloutGate was closed due to neglect and violation of deadlines by DeSo Foundation. I don't know the details. Perhaps, maybe they didn't get their funding. Maybe, I don't know why, but I can only say what they're claiming. It'll be interesting to see if anything else comes of this. To note, they are selling their creator coin in 7 days from now. So if you do own any of their creator coin, you might want to sell it to get your money out. I went through the list of users who do own it, and it seemed like the vast majority of those people were inactives.
Yeah. So I want to say, like, I give them props for coming forward and giving people warnings so that they don't lose money on the creator coin. I don't know the details either, so I don't really want to weigh in. DeSo is so young. There's going to be mistakes made. I know there were mistakes made in communication between core and developers and core and the community. But in the early stages, that's what happens. I can understand them being frustrated if something didn't go right, but at the same time, I think we're all learning in this. So you can't be too hard on the core team. I'm sure
they can be. You can be as hard as you want on the core team. That's up to you.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't know if it's fair to be super hard on the core team, but also it's not fair to just brush aside CloutGate's concerns. Obviously, they put in a lot of work.
I really liked it. I really liked CloutGate. Yeah. I mean, they didn't really make any changes to it for probably like almost a year, but I did like the service. Now I'm just going to be using Open Prosper more, I guess.
Yeah, and it's sad to see them go, but I think things evolve, and this is kind of what happens, I think, within any new crypto, or just the crypto space in general.
Yeah, and I think Open Prosper kind of took the lead in the whole analytics and statistics spot. So, you know,
Yeah.
what were the top hashtags for the last 24 hours?
So once again, I think this is like the third day in a row. Natter, verify, Stargazer, please is number one. Number two is DeSo. Number three is bullish. That's interesting. Number four is NFT, and number five is post to earn from Ado and DeSocial World.
And seals. Ado actually wanted to make sure that I said seals. Seals is actually
Seals.
giving the earnings. Like they're the ones paying the money. Yeah. So Ado just wanted me to make sure I said seals is the one that's helping make this happen.
Yeah, so let's move to the top earners. So yesterday was actually a big day. I think that TikTok video by the Nifty Investor that helped things a little bit along. We saw 1,055 creators earning DeSo, which is a lot better than we've been seeing on a Sunday. Sundays are usually one of the quietest days of the week. That number had been in the 800s, even 700s a few weeks ago. So 1,055 creators earned a total of $17,987. That was substantially higher than we've been seeing, even outside the fact that DAO earned 10,354 of that. But 23 creators earned at least one DeSo, which is nearly double what we've been seeing.
Impressive.
Usually it's like 10 to 15 creators earning one DeSo. I'm not sure exactly what was in play. Maybe Natter was giving a lot of diamonds to people. I mean, something simple like that could have the impact. 4 creators earned at least 10 DeSo. So 10 DeSo, that's approximately $500 at today's price. So 4 creators earned $500 or so. DAO was number one, followed by Para Hard Shot, and then 100, Seals, Huge Tiny, High Key, Scrutinize, Clout Punk, It's a Aditya, and Lacks Context. So congrats to all 10 of those individuals.
Yeah, and like you said, DAO brought in $10,354 yesterday. That's up quite significantly from the days past. I do know Robert Graham, he's an OG on DeSo, said that he just read through the white paper. He watched all the videos about DAO, and he just bought 2 more silver tickets. So that had, that probably had an impact of about $2,500 or so of that 10,000. So congrats to Robert Graham for getting 2 silvers.
So I'll just step in and say something. Like, we own 2 silvers, I believe, right now. DAO's NFTs are going to be on sale until sometime in May. So we had the intention of buying multiple more silvers just because we believe in what DAO's doing, and we think it has a chance to really not only provide incentive to the investors, but just really explode and help DeSo. We've been waiting. We're going to wait till closer to May just so we can get a better gauge on what the market cap of DAO will be, so that we can kind of calculate like what the possible returns are. But at the same time, if those silvers start selling and there's not many left, we might be forced to buy them pretty early. So I think there's a lot of people in the same boat. They're probably just waiting till the end just to see what kind of market cap they're going to work with. Right now, it's around, I think around $2.5 million in NFTs have been sold. So they're funded with $2.5 million. But as we get closer and we can kind of start gauging where we stand, I think you're going to see an influx of new buyers. That's at least my opinion.
For sure. So the community events today, there's actually a few. 11 a.m. Eastern time on Clubhouse is Music Monday, decentralized music with chats today, Miss Katie Ann and Michelle Lord. Also joining in are going to be GJ Art, Rhubarb, Dr. Rob, Mantan Dereason. Oh God, I know this name. Wait, why am I not saying it right? Maintain the reason. That's the name. Okay. Goldberry, Mercury, Alendez, Extinct, Sean Drum, St. Lanes, DOZ, and many more. Definitely check that out. 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'm so happy that I got Maintain the Reason today.
Well, it took you a few tries.
Yeah,
so
but
I'd be too happy.
I normally would say Tan the Reason. So I'm really proud of myself. 2 p.m. Eastern time on Vibe Hut is Vibe Hut Happy Hour. Of course, Vibe Hut's where you kind of get to meet one-on-one with different individuals, thanks to one Dolinsky who created an amazing app. One Dolinsky, known as Mr. Subscriptions. He's an amazing guy. We got to meet him in LA.
And that's my key to say, please add subscriptions to Creator Coins. All right.
Yes. And at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Entra is a town hall, but it's also a 20,000 user community party. Of course, last week they announced that they've reached a 20,000 user mark. So this is a community party at 7 p.m. Eastern time today on Entra, and they're going to be giving away prizes and much more. Michael Mara is going to be there, Sean Tron, Mariam, and Juan. They're all going to be on hand for the party. Definitely try and make that if you can. So I think
So
that's
I have a
all.
quick question. Did you forget the welcome back part of Open Prosper, or are we just not doing that today?
Well, I go through the list of welcome back people every day. And some days there's noteworthy people. Other days there's just people I've never heard of. So sometimes there's just nothing to talk about. And I think that yesterday was kind of the same. So I will do it if there's interesting people to welcome back.
I was just wondering because you never removed it from the notes, so you threw me off here.
Yeah, that's my reminder for tomorrow to add welcome back people.
Okay.
All right. I don't think people really care, but that's just what it is. All right. So everybody have a great day, and we'll get back to you tomorrow.